Hi, hello, this is Balaji and welcome back to the channel. Great to have you all back. So today we're going to learn how to get the rolling average on SQL, and we're going to learn two new functions called preceding and following, which is used in this example. So this is a very important function. So this kind of a problem was asked at a Twitter interview, and we're going to solve this. So given the table, we have the given table, user ID, order date, and amount. We have three unique users, 1, 2, and 3 right here. And we have the date, order date, and the amount. So what are we expected to find? We're expected to find the overall running average, user segregated average, user segregated running average, 3-day rolling average trailing, 3-day rolling average leading, previous 2-day rolling average excluding the current day. So you might or might not know what are these. So I'll explain you what these are with an example. Right. So I have the same data here, the user ID, order date, and amount. So the first one being overall running average. This is simple. So running average essentially is the cumulative average, where the average shown here is the average of the given row and the preceding rows. So say for example, I take 183.33 here. This is the average of these three rows. If you see on the right corner here, it says 183.33. Similarly, you come to 410 here, it's the average of 1000 and the rest of the rows. Yeah, it says 410. And coming down here, it's 222. And if you take the average of all of these, it's 222.77. So that's what overall running average is. And let's move to what is segregated user segregated average. So it is essentially the same. Is essentially the average of the user's amount. So for the user ID 1, the average is 410. So this is essentially the average of all the amounts for the user ID 1 across all the dates. So it's 410 year and it's 410 year. And going down for user ID 2, it is minus 20, and it is minus 20 here also. And for user ID 3, it is 40, and this is the average of user ID 3. So this is a simple average. So now if you want to combine these both, it's called user segregated running average. So how is this? This is essentially the average of the preceding rows and the current row until the row. So for user ID 1, it is 125. That is essentially the average of these two. And for if it is 262, it is essentially the average of these four, the given row and the preceding rows. And for 410, it is the average of all the rows still there. So this ends the user ID 1. For user ID 2, it starts from the beginning. So for 20 row number 10, it's 20. And here it's 40 because it's the average of 60 and 20. Here it's minus 20 because it's the average of minus 140, 60 and 20. And similarly for user ID 3, it repeats 15 and 30 here and 40. So this is the user segregated running average. Now what is a 3-day rolling average trailing? So the rolling average essentially is the rolling sum or average or the arithmetic function of the preceding 3 units. So say for example, I take 100. Let me just add in 2 additional rows on top. Right. So here is 100 because it is the rolling average of 100 itself and the preceding 2 rows. Given that they are empty cells, it is still 100. And now it's 125 here because it's the average of 150, 100 and none. So it's 125. Now coming down to the next one, here it's 183.33 because it is the average of the previous 3 and the previous 2 and the current row. So on and so forth. Here it's 600 because it's the average of 1000, 500 and 300. So that is the rolling average for this user. So coming on to the next user, it is same. So it's 20 here because let me add 2 rows. It's 20 here because it's 20 null and null. and it's 40 here because it's 20, 60 and none. Average is 40. Coming down, it is minus 140, 60 and 20. That is essentially minus 20. So yeah, minus 20 here. And similarly for user ID 3, it is 15, then 30, and then 40. So this is how the rolling average works for the previous 3 days. So it's trailing because it's going backwards. Say if you're going to lead it, it is going to be the opposite. So here for 1st of April, the leading rolling average would be the average of 100, 150 and 300. That is 183.33 and it's 183.33. So for the next row, it is going to be this average of the following two and the given row itself. It's 316.66 and 316.66. And for 300, it should be 600. So it's 600 here and 600 here is the average. But for 500, given there is only one row after and it's a null value, it is the average of these two only. So it's 750 here and 750, and this, given this is the last row, it's 1000 and 1000 here. Similarly, so on and so forth. It's a rolling average for the other user IDs also. It's user segregated. And what is previous 2 days average? So here the logic is for a given row, the average is the average of previous 2 units. Say for row number 7, that is on 1st of April, the average is essentially the previous 2 rows. Given previous 2 rows are null, it is null again. Here for the next row, it is the average of 100 and null. Average of 100 and null is 100 again, so it's 100. For the next row, it is the average of 150 and 100, so it's 125. And following it is the average of 300 and 150, and so on and so forth. For 400, it is the average of 500 and 800. So this is how the previous 2 days averages, and let's solve this. So let's go to the query console and run the query. So yes, we have the data here. Let's start writing the query. The first one being overall running average. So let me just get the metrics down here first. User ID, order date, amount. So yeah, it's working. So let's align this. Like, okay. Now we'll have to find the overall running average. This is a pretty easy problem. So we just have to use the window function, average of amount over or order by user ID comma order date as overall running average. So it's going to order by the user ID first, and then order by the order date next, and then calculate the running average. Yes, so if you see, it's 100, 125, 183, 262, 410, 345. So what do we have here? Yeah, the numbers are matching. So this is done here. So what's next? User segregated average. This is also a pretty simple one because it's just a average and a running average. So it's average amount over partition by user ID. So given its overall average, you don't have to partition by anything else or order by anything else. So let me just copy this. Alright. So everything is done. Right. It's 410 minus 20 and 40. So here again it's 410 minus 20 and 40. Yeah, this also works. It's the overall average per user. So user segregated running average is the combination of both. So we'll have to order them and partition by. So let me do that. So I'll do the average of amount over partition by user ID order by user ID comma order date as user segregated running average. Mhm. Yeah, let me run this. Yeah, we have 100, 125, 183, 262, 410, 20, 40 minus 20. Yeah, it's correctly matching. So we are combined running average and user segregated average into user segregated running average. So now next would be the 3-day rolling average. So how do we do that? So here it's a new concept here. We are going to learn about preceding. So how does that work? So I'll show you average of amount over partition by user ID order by order date rows between two preceding and current row as 3-day rolling average. I'll put it as 3-day trailing average. So this should work. We have it here. It's 100, 125, 183, 316, 600, then 20, 40 minus 20. So we have 20, 40 minus 20. Yes, this works. So what happens here is the after partitioning and ordering it by the order date, so it's going to take the two preceding rows, that is the two rows before the given row, and then it includes a current row also. So say for example, here it takes 300, so it's going to take 150 and 100 as the preceding rows, and it's going to take the current row as 300. So essentially it is the average of 150, 100 and 300, that's 183.33. So it's 183.33, and that's how it works. Right, it works. So here, to just to mention, both of them are inclusive. The two preceding and the current row are inclusive. So similarly, if you want to do the rolling, the leading average, so I copy paste the same thing. Here, instead of preceding, you use the current row, and it will be one following. Sorry, two following. So what's going to happen is going to take the current row and the two succeeding rows and average them. So what happens here? Yeah, it's 183, 316, 600, 750. Yeah, it's perfectly matching. So this is the leading average, and the last one being the previous 2 days average. All right, so here it is, average. So you're going to use the same function that's the preceding one, amount over partition by user ID order by order date and rows between preceding two rows and sorry, it will be 2 preceding and 1 preceding. So how does this work? I'll explain. So getting back here. So here we have, let's take for example 500. So what are the two preceding rows of 500 here? Is 300 and 150. So it's going to take 300 and 150, and it's also going to take the one preceding row, that is 300. So it's given both are inclusive. It's going to take the difference between, so essentially the between function works here, where it's going to take the numbers between 300, that is minus 1, and 150, that is minus 2. So the range between minus 1 and minus 2 is 150 and 300, and hence it's going to give you, let's see what it gives. So as previous 2 days, previous 2 days. So what happened? Right. So the first one is null, then 100, 125, 225, and 400. Yeah, null, 100, 125, 225, 400. Similarly, it's null, 20 and 40. Null, 20 and 40. So this is how you get the previous 2 days average. So I hope you understood this, and let me give you a homework. Say now that you have the previous 2 days, do put it in the comments on how you're going to find the following 2 days. That is the n minus 1 and n plus 1 and n plus 2th days average, and that should help you understand how the preceding and following function work. So the hint being, you have to use the following in a similar fashion, and you'll be getting the answer. Put it down in the comments and I'll reply to that. So if you have any other doubts, do let me know in the comments and I'll be ready to answer. And also, this video took a lot of effort to put in, so I had taken a lot of retakes to get this right for you guys. So do please support and like or share this video to people who might need it. So yeah, thank you.